Hi, I'm Dr. Mike Milligan. We're here at the Excellence in Dentistry meeting in Orlando, Florida, Woody Oaks' meeting. If you haven't been there, it's a great meeting to go to. You get to learn so much in products and techniques and practice management.
And finance.
But also finance. And so I've pulled aside Garrett Gunderson, one of our keynote speakers here this weekend. And Garrett, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, it's great to be here, and you know, it's good to have everyone say, you look young, because I'm getting gray, and so it's nice that I still look young.
You look young, and you are young, but you're very sharp. And so we're going to go into a little more detail on his wonderful book, Killing Sacred Cows. And if you haven't gotten and read this book, I'd really highly recommend that you do. And also, Garrett, where can we find out more information about you and your company?
You can go to freedomfasttrack.com or garrettbgunderson.com. If you go to garrettgunderson.com, you'll see some guy's resume that won't sell me the website. If you go to Garrett B. Gunderson, you'll see the official site with resources and information, and you know, it should be useful.
Okay, wonderful. Well, so we've talked a little bit about an overview in the last video. Can you give us a little more detail on what's in Killing Sacred Cows and some of your unique concepts that Killing Sacred Cows? Now, why the title, and how does that relate to what's in the book here?
Well, the title was maybe the hardest part of the book.
Yeah.
I was writing the book for 2 years with, I think I got about 72 pages done.
Okay, wow.
And I got to tell you why. It was because I was totally selfish at this book at first. It was all about me getting more clients, getting more known. It was totally my ego. Okay. And so I'm sitting down, I'm writing, but I'm forcing it. I'm not into it. And then I had my business partners die in June of 2006.
Wow.
And we had talked as a firm, we've had firm-wide retreats talking about the importance of putting this message in a book and getting it out there. And finally, I had more purpose than just getting a better career.
Good.
I really shifted the focus to, this is something that can alleviate so much pain, so much suffering. This can really empower people. This could be a message where people start to invest in alignment with their soul purpose. And I'll tell you, the very first message in this book is so essential, because no amount of saving, no amount of luck, no amount of discipline, no amount of investment return will ever save you if you can't figure out what I talk about in the very first chapter. You have to understand it. And that's the scarcity mentality. If you do not conquer the scarcity mentality of fear, of doubt, of worry, no financial plan will work, because it's about who you are, and you will destroy what's around you. You've got to see the world from a producer paradigm, one of contribution, of service, and of value creation consistent with what makes you happy and allows you to enjoy life. And at the very core of this book is investing is all about soul purpose, your combination of talents, passions, and values for your life's mission. That is your soul purpose. Everyone has one, not everyone lives one. As a matter of fact, not everyone invests in alignment and congruent with the soul purpose. If you're someone that is so passionate about health, and there are certain organizations that you would never support, maybe it's pharmaceutical companies in certain sectors, maybe it's, you know, I don't know, certain health insurance companies or whatever that might be. If you look inside of your 401ks, SEP IRAs, RSP plans, you will see most of the stocks that you would never invest in as part of your life. Why? Because people are not being encouraged to be educated financially. Right. It's about financial literacy. And here's the good news. Finances doesn't have to be drab and boring and technical, because I don't deal with the stock market. I don't really invest that much in real estate like I used to, because I didn't love it. I invest in real estate that I love, like a building that I utilize, right? So that makes more sense for who I am. I invest in this book. I invest in my business. And then I find ways to translate that business wealth into personal wealth that's congruent, that's consistent, that's predictable, and that doesn't derail me from my focus and my passion in what I'm up to. See, and a lot of investing derails people because they get into things that aren't consistent with what they know and who they are.
Who they are. And soul, by the way, is S-O-U-L purpose,
it is.
not S-O-L-E purpose.
But your soul purpose, S-O-U-L, will give you your soul purpose in life, S-O-L-E. And your soul purpose is not your career. It's not one particular investment, but it is a compass to guide you as to what makes sense for you. And see, most financial firms, like if I watch TV and I watch these financial programs or I listen to the radio, you know, I have a radio show, but I would never do this on mine, which is have a caller call in and say, I got this situation, what should I do? And then they fraudulently answer this question that they could never answer because they see 1/100th of the picture at best, and they think it's about a technique or a strategy. But that is not what it's about. You got to get to the source and the root before because like debt, for example, people say, well, how do you get out of debt? Well, first of all, you got to get really clear about where you got into debt, how you got into debt, and what relationships led to that, because it's not just financial. That's a symptom. And if you don't get to that core, you'll end up in debt again, even if you have good techniques and strategies. So we're kind of like personal development meets personal finance, so that it can be lasting and it can have a true impact. And what's good about is that investing can be a lot simpler. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to know anything about Forex trading because it doesn't meet my criteria, it doesn't meet my philosophy. I don't need to know anything about calls or puts or derivatives because it's not who I am. It isn't congruent with my philosophy, which means I save time from that analysis and I only invest where I want to invest, where I would read about anyway, where it makes sense for who I am. And you know what? That's liberating. It means that 85% of that complexity goes away. And it can be something that's enjoyable. It's not drudgery. And so, you know, I apologize for the industry of financial planning because that's where I started, you know, in June of 1998. That's the industry I started in, which meant, let's be honest, I was a life insurance salesman to start with. That's how, and then I was a mutual fund salesman. That is not financial planning. That is a product sell. That is not building a blueprint. That doesn't get clear about who someone is. I believe in having a network, and that network should be attorneys and accountants and insurance people, and they should subscribe to and adhere to the same philosophy, but have their depth of expertise. So when a plan is built, it shouldn't be built by the person selling the product. It should be built by a coach that then brings in the right resources if they're not there or if they're missing.
And then that leads me into, and it's wonderful visiting with you here, so much insight, but you've got a company that helps with that.
Right. I have a company that helps with that. Surprise, surprise.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But it's something I'm extraordinarily passionate about, and the more profitable I am in it, the more I'm able to make a bigger impact, which I really want. I want financial transformation in my lifetime, where the institutions aren't pitching a rate of return, but they're getting to know the individual and their sole purpose and making sure the investments are aligned with that. And that's really the contribution I want to make. So yeah, I have a program, and you know, if you go to 7stepstocash.com.
Now is that SE?
It's just the number 7, 7stepstocash.com.
Okay.
What we do is we identify 7 key areas where most people are hemorrhaging, leaking money, losing cash unknowingly because they're inefficient, and it's something I call the ignorance tax. The income tax isn't our biggest tax, it's the ignorance tax, right? When we get involved in something that doesn't work or when we don't know what's happening.
Golly, yeah.
And so we identify that, and then that opens up an opportunity that at the end of that, if you said, I would like more help, that you can go to our enrollment team and determine if we interview you to see if you're right for our program. If you are, we have a 96% success rate of people hitting benchmarks of I mean, I got to be honest, we were at less than 70% just in 2006. So to get at 96% over the last 12 months has been it's been my number one goal is 100% client satisfaction, which means we don't take everyone in. Because we had a dentist recently that was unhappy. We only saved him $3,000 in tax, and we only freed up $1,900 a month off of his budget, but he wanted us to save him his tuition in hard dollars day one. Well, within 30 days. So we made a mistake and brought in the wrong person doing something like that. So 7 Steps to Cash. We normally charge $497, so that's a hidden website where, because they're watching this and you're in the dental profession, there'll be no charge for that one-on-one consultation. You don't have to send in any social security numbers, any documents. You just show up on the phone, but make sure if you apply that when they call you, you don't miss your meeting, because you don't get a second chance if that's the case. So be proactive. If something comes up, let us know. Just don't waste their time, because I can't keep giving it for free if any time's wasted. But that would help people really understand what my program is and how we can help people. And dentist is one of our 2 niches that we serve. We're very focused, and dental is one of our 2 niches.
I understood that you were moving more into helping the dentists and really getting focused in that niche, which is a wonderful thing for us.
Because we want business owners that have control over their practice, and we want to show them how to turn that into true sustainable wealth. And we did a study, and before we ever went into the market to say we're going to serve dentists, it was our number 1 demographic unintentionally.
Wow, fantastic.
And we had such a high success rate. And I think part of it is a lot of dentists, they want to know the philosophy, but then they want to know the logic, and then they want the very specifics, and that's how our program works. So it just resonates, and it works really well because we get into the details, right?
Yeah. Be careful getting into a dentist mindset because we're a unique group, but we love to have you with us, and we appreciate that. And Garrett, thanks so much for being with us.
Hey, great to be with you.
Thank you.